Hey everybody, Brenden here at Common Motor, common-motor.com. It is Halloween and we thought we'd give you a spooky ghost tour, at least a spooky tour, a tour of our shop space here. By the time you guys watch this video, we'll be long gone out of this kooky, creepy, weird old building we've called home for the last almost 12 years now. And we wanted to share with you what's going on behind the scenes. You know, you see the set here a lot on the YouTube videos, but we want to show you the rest of the shop space, how it evolved, how we got to where we are. And we want to document it before we move out because it's about to all change very soon. So come along with us. We're going to show you all the history and gory details of the Common Motor space. So, as you guys do know, this is our set, which we built up for the YouTube videos. But really, this room we're in right now is one of the two original rooms we had rented when we first moved into this space. This is about a 400 square foot room. And what the building we're in originally is a cold brew coffee manufacturing factory. And right now, this room that we're in, that's our studio room, was originally like the bottling and boiler room, I guess. If you look up here, we have all these pipes and wires and crap hanging down. This is a crazy old building. I'm gonna talk about leaks and floods a lot in here because, well, it's falling apart. That's why we're moving out. But yeah, this was originally the shop space in here. Then it became the packing area. It became storage and all kinds of things. It's evolved over the years. But now it's a studio. It's our film studio. You might see we have a lot of Trail 90 sitting around because we've been filming a lot of Trail 90 content. Let's move into the next room here. This room is the original main room here of Common Motor. If you watch some of our old videos, you probably recognize the space. You see the walls. We had different things mounted on at the time because these two rooms, this was everything. When I moved in here, I was completely broke. This space was available really, really inexpensively, and so we had to be scrappy about the entire thing. A lot of what was built in here as far as the space and the fixtures actually came out of a trash can. Like we literally were picking up things on the side of the road, and building tables and fixtures, and trying to put this space together to be an operational workspace to be in. I found this space through friends of ours who run another business here in Houston called Steamboat Amp Works. They build custom amplifiers and electric guitar stuff. They're down the hall. Well, they were down the hall. We have the space now, but I want to mention that because without meeting Jake and William at Steamboat, I would have never found this space to be in. So I'm grateful for those guys to introduce me to this weird space we've called home for over a decade. This was the whiteboard wall. You know, keep notes on. And then this was the bathroom. I actually found that toilet on the side of the road and rebuilt it because I couldn't afford to buy one. All this stuff was scrapped together from basically things being thrown away. Spent a lot of time in this space. It has flooded multiple times. Luckily there's a drain in the floor. But yeah, this was probably for the first 4 years of Common Motor. Everything happened in these two rooms, like everything. This was inventory and packing, wrenching, any kind of fabrication, office, photography. I mean, we literally did everything in these two rooms as far as the company goes. And we just operated in here, you know, as long as we could until we started to outgrow the space. So yeah, at this point, it's kind of a bike storage. We have a lot of our R&D bikes because we keep one of every bike we support on file as far as a reference. Plus we got a lot of other bikes here that are for sale. So if you're looking for a project bike, keep posted to our social media and the website. We're gonna have more bikes for sale coming very soon. This is actually one of our libraries. When we come across a strange part or a variant of a part that we need to document, we archive it here so we can reference it. Because inevitably there's something strange that shows up on a Honda and we're like, why is this here? And sure enough, it'll be some strange variant of a part that was from the factory but wasn't documented. And so we will archive it and have it for reference because we may never see it again. There were my desk builders right here. Like the website was built right here. It's amazing how much time we spent in this room doing things. And by the way, it is not climate controlled in here. it was just raw heat here in the summer, and it's hot here in Houston. So we made the best of it. We had set these vinyl curtains up years ago to keep some climate control because we'd actually had AC units right here. We'd roll 2 AC units up here, block the middle, so we could get a little bit of cool air in here. It worked okay. It had to be scrappy. You want to get your business started, we had to be scrappy about it and figure out how to make it work. The space over here we're about to go into is we call the corridor. And when I first moved into this space, this wasn't ours. We had shared this space with another tenant in here who was doing some automotive work. And basically, other than opening this door to maybe go out to the main door, out to the outside, we didn't really have this space. And it was kind of a weird relationship in the space here because we'd kind of fight a little bit over it because we'd get blocked in and we couldn't move bikes in and out, things like that. And eventually, it became our space because with y'all's support, the business grew and we needed more space. So let's go into the corridor. So this is the corridor. So as Common Motor grew, we were able to take over this part of the space. This kind of became the shop area right where we're standing. We could actually pull a car in and do some car work because besides bikes, we also play with cars and things that are mechanical, and having that kind of opportunity to be able to work on your car right here was great. And I may have mentioned before, we've had some rain and flooding in here. We've had a lot of rain and flooding in here. Quite honestly, we're tired of it. So another reason to move on to a new space. But, oh yeah, we've had our good handful of critters here in the space. Well, we found our shop cat here. She showed up at the door, Mama Cat. Maybe we'll see her later on the tour. We've had raccoons, possums, snakes. Recently, we had a Gila monster. We don't know what happened to him, but it was definitely here living under the property for at least 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month. It's just the nature of being in an old, weird building. What you kind of see around you is this is some of our overstock inventory. All the different things that we stock and carry and, develop. This is kind of where it lives in a warehousing sense. And a lot of the old lights don't work anymore. In fact, I'm going to point out this right here on the wall. There's some art back here. Before we were able to take over this space, it was used as an art gallery. And the art gallery was over, and we finally took it over, but the art's still up on the wall. This is part of what I call the old building here. And this is now basically the dead bike stores. This might be the graveyard of all bikes back here. Yeah, we've got lots of project bikes that are waiting to be resurrected from the dead. One of my things I did was, as I saw bikes pop up, we started buying them. We started buying them because we know that there's people looking for them. And so they all kind of ended up here. This particular part of the building is definitely falling apart. Leaks a little bit when it rains. A lot of it. Spider webs and mice and rats and all of it. So yeah, lots of old dead bikes and engines and bits and parts and old smoky grill. These are just literally built down the street from us here where the shop is. They build these little barbecue grills here in Houston. They've been doing it since the 50s, and the company that makes these is actually a metal wash tub manufacturing company from the turn of the 20th century that started making grills in the 50s when the demand for metal wash tubs has gone down thanks to plastic. So Old Smokies, they're kind of a Houston staple. Actually, if you look up some of these signs hanging here, see that one there? It says coffee scraps. This was part of the warehouse from the coffee production company. Lots of dead engines and parts assorted and all kinds of things here. Bunch of old mufflers and things like that that probably need to be sorted through. So a lot of the stuff that was here when we moved in, and it was just kind of shoved back here. Let me see if we can get into the creepy cooler back here. Let me see if the light works still. Light worked at one point. Oh, geez, look at that. Let me see if this one works. Oh, geez, it works too. Man, I haven't been in here in years. I didn't know this. You didn't know this was here? Yeah. That's funny. Extra crispy, marinated for flavored chicken. I mean, yeah. I wonder if they're storing chicken in here because it all has KFC stuff. Tender roast marinated, tender roast raw. Like, we really just don't know a whole lot about the history of the space other than it was a It's a cold brew coffee factory, so yeah. Actually, this is something interesting here. Before I opened Common Motor, I had a different company called Recompute. And we're manufacturing computers out of cardboard. These are all kind of leftover. This is all leftover stuff. There's an old Recompute right there. And then the iPhone came out, and so long for that. Back here is probably one of the creepier rooms. This was some kind of storage room at the shop, and we can't go any further because we blocked off this entrance here. This goes into a really old house built like in the 1890s. That's attached still. It's all part of this giant weird building we're in. Someone lives in there, so I'm not gonna go and go through there, but it was really creepy before they had moved in. So this is this creepy room, we call it the tank room. There it is. It's a bunch of old gas tanks, and there was definitely like a bunch of reams of paper in here. We didn't have printer paper, and we found a bunch in here. We found shipping envelopes in here. The corridor kind of provided for so many things. Ooh, there's some Christmas decorations. I think see some daylight through there. Someone needs this. Someone needs that bad.
They ship it, we'll send it to you.
Yeah. That was the company that was here before us, which is called Toddy. So yeah, this is the corridor. All inventory here, but there was, again, this has been so many different things over the years. Besides inventory storage, like I said, it was cars. There was this truck that was like up here at the end for years. We had to haul off. We couldn't even get to this door because it was piled up with stuff. Like other people had been in the space and left things here, which we had to clean out because they abandoned it. Come on in. This is the Common Motor packing area, formerly the Steamboat Amp Works build and fab shop, and also a studio, by the way. And this is where we spend a lot of time. This is where a lot of our core inventory lives. And this is where packing and kit building and things like that nature happen. There's Jeff there, he's packing. Yep. Jeff, we're giving us a tour of the space.
Yeah, I figured that one.
Yep. So, gotta document before we go. Yeah, so this is this weird part of the building here, really old part of the building. We're not sure what was built. We think it was built in the late 40s. It's hard to know. Everything is so kind of hodgepodged and cobbled together here. This is a lot of the space here is just shelves of inventory or boxes of inventory. Steamboat was up there, and then right here on the wall, we got their logo there. So anyway, if you play electric guitar, go check out our buddies at Steamboat. This was their original location as well. And that was actually a studio they built. They built a recording studio here in the space. And this building, this is all completely made of doors. We got free doors from a waste reuse warehouse here in Houston. And like a lot of the tables I use in the shop are built out of doors. This whole area was reinforced with doors that were being thrown away. There was also at one point a lot of parties in here and live music being played really loud, things like that. So a lot of evidence in the Steamboat guys. We have our rocket ship vent right there. Wacky spot here, yeah. A lot of time in here. Let's go this way. So we are in a different part of what we call the office now, which is actually a house that was built onto the building. We do a lot of other kit building in this area. This is, kit assembly, like we're building bolt kits, gasket kits, things like that. We have our offices in here. We have a little kitchen in here. And all the paint and stuff in here was all the Steamboat guys before we moved in. And those guys were actually living here. So before we moved in, they actually lived here in this part of the building as their house. So this is kind of the core of the space here at the Common Motor shop. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go out the door, and then we're gonna go over to the actual wrench shop space and give you a quick tour of that. Mama, what you doing? Come here. So all right, we're about to go into the shop space, and this is our resident critter here. This is Mama. She's Mama because she showed up with 2 kittens. Kittens got adopted, and she still lives here, and she's still her mama. So yeah, that's the mama cat.
Also the resident HR department?
She is the HR department as well, so if Mama Cat does it, it's okay. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go into the actual shop space where shop-like activities happen. This is where I think this is the space that people think that we hang out in all day. We don't. We're actually over here filming or packing or doing whatever. This is where wrenching does happen occasionally. Depends on what we're working on, but not as much over here as maybe we'd like to be. So, but come on in. At one point, we were renting benches to people in the community to come work on their bikes, and at this point now it's pretty much just staff and personal work in here. But that was an early part of the collective part of Common Motor, was having multiple people here to be able to work on their stuff. This was actually the last space that we took over here on the property, and we needed it too because we were running out of space in the small area, the original area we started with, actually doing wrenching. So yeah, let's just have a walk around here. A fine collection of non-running motorcycles and other vehicles that are in progress. Some of them are running. Actually, a couple bikes here that are going to be going up for sale pretty soon. The Super Clean 360, Sim Wolf. By the way, Sim Wolf is a really good Taiwanese copy of a Honda CB125. Cool stuff. More bikes over here and fun stuff. What do we got here? Jawa Cross 90, aka Trail 90. That's my next project on the lift here, is one of these. It's pretty cool. There's a Yamaha SR400, another Sim Wolf, SL 125. SL 100, yeah. And this is Caleb's stuff right here. This is what, your CL77? In process.
TS185
Yeah. That's Caleb's workstation.
Say hi, Scott.
Scott's over there hiding. Scott! Hey! That's Scott. An HR meeting. Oh, what's the HR department telling you?
Keep up the good work.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad she's checking in on you. I've been working on this truck for a while. This is my 78 Ford F-150. Getting there. Always more project than there is time. This is actually my workstation right here, my workbench. I'm working on currently this Gilera 106 SS, little Italian bike from the mid-60s. I don't work on Hondas all the time. Work on something different, keep it interesting. Back here is, we do parts washing and such. This is actually where we're starting to do our machine services. Tear down a motor, clean it, ultrasonics and parts washers and a tear down bench, going through things. A lot of this stuff here is, things that are like cylinders ready to go, have been bored and machined, and oversized pistons ready to go out the door. Stuff like that. Over here is heads and stuff ready to be on deck to be machined. This has been the newest area developed in the shop, being able to do the machine services here. Honing machine and boring machine and all the necessary tools and equipment to actually do this for motorcycle engines, specifically the Hondas. This took, that was easily like a 3-year project to develop all the tools and figure out the techniques and practicing to make sure we got it right. Being able to machine this stuff correctly because no one was doing it. So we had to do it. Finally got this Bridgeport together, which is a Franken Bridgeport. Yeah, 3 different Bridgeports. It was a multi-year project to finally get that up and operational. One of my favorite tools in the shop here is the Atlas lathe, the 1947 Atlas. We actually use this little lathe a lot for a lot of different things, and had to get a lathe. And one of the things that one of my mentors taught me was you never trust the shop without a lathe, because you can do so much work with a lathe. So the people who know. So if you don't have a lathe, get a lathe. Super important. Caleb has a lathe. So yeah, this is our shop workspace, but we're again about to move into a new space. This is going to be a little bit tidier and nicer and climate controlled because we're tired of the heat. All right, what's going on here? Oh boy. So we're kind of at the end of the physical shop tour. We're ending it out here in our yard, and we're gonna come walk over here to the corner and show you our skyline view, which we've had for so many years. When we moved in here, this road that's here was a little 2-lane road that nobody ever came down because it was an old train line. And since then, since we moved in, all these apartments have popped up right here. The road got widened significantly, and things are changing here in this neighborhood. Still get the view of the skyline for a little bit longer, especially at night. It's great. So yeah, City of Houston. And if you're ever wondering what was the name Common Motor, it has a lot of layers to it. It had to do with the fact that we're all playing motorcycle together. We're looking at trying to support a common group of Honda motorcycles that were made at the same time period. But the other part of it that came into focus as we're trying to figure out the name for the shop so many years ago was this. So our building is on this little tiny street called Common Street. And it all kind of made sense. And I'm like, well, I guess that has to be the name since we are on Common Street. So that concludes our quick tour documentation of our shop space here. We wanted to share that with you so that you guys see what we deal with every day, we have been dealing with for every day. By the time you watch this, it is long gone. We don't know what's going to happen to this property. I'm sure they're going to build some townhomes or something on it. And it's time for the next chapter. But thank you for being with us for the last decade or more. And we look forward to seeing you in the new space. As always, Brenden with Common Motor, common-motor.com on the internets. And we'll catch you in the next chapter.